What's up, everyone? Ponylover1989 here, and welcome to another reaction episode. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. My hair is sticking up. I just took a shower this morning, and, well, anyway, Something Different 765 suggested me to react to another video, and it's made by Cyanide. It is called This Movie Lost $40 million and is not good at all. And this time they're talking about a really bad CGI movie called Arctic Dogs. A worst box office bomb in the theaters. So anyway, I don't know how many parts they're gonna be. It's supposed to be in 2 parts because my camera can only record at 15 minutes and 30 seconds. So, yeah, this video is 17 minutes and 20 seconds long. So, here we go in 3, 2, 1, and...
For almost 100 years, Harry David has been making
an ad for gourmet gifts.
Before this video starts, I have a single copyright. It's called "Forget You" and it's with Rain System.
Forget You.
The song by the top link in the description. So go stream and support your boy. Okay, enjoy this month's video. Sorry.
I love my brother Tony. We are best friends. We have been close our entire life. Our friend groups are the same. I talk to him every single day. We play video games all the time.
Tony?
Tony is
Luigi.
the person in my life. I can't even begin to describe it.
Yes, hello, 911. Eddie won't stop messaging me. What do you mean the only way to break the curse is to tell you a story about a gigantic waste of money?
Waste of
Let me
money?
tell you a story about a gigantic waste of money. Arctic Dogs is a 2019 animated masterpiece with an absolute star-studded cast. To name a few, we got Jeremy Renner, a Hawkeye and former app.
Jeremy Renner?
Jade the Fox. Alec Baldwin is the polar bear. James Franco is an albatross. They don't have names to me. It was also revealed that Jeremy Renner did the soundtrack for this movie as well, proving yet again that he's a gamer. So with all the voice talent behind the characters, surely this movie was a hit, right?
Wrong.
As a hit to their bank account. This movie actually holds a world record for the worst opening of all time in nearly 3,000 theaters. Jesus fucking Christ. Now, you want to know why this movie failed? Because they didn't fucking market. Now, I and literally everyone else did not see a single ad for this movie except for one special Twitter post. Now, I want to preface this by saying that this was a legitimate ad they ran for their movie. Please enjoy.
When that cold brew hits.
What the fuck was that? Now, that was the only ad they did for this entire movie. Okay, that's exaggerated, but that's like the only one that ever got any semblance of traction. Now, before I go onto the Arctic Dogs Twitter account real quick, what the hell is this? Let's break this down. We can assume that when that cold brew hits, the bear then screams bloody murder as he descends downhill on a sled. Okay, so I don't get it, but all I know is that this became my mantra for the next 3 months.
When that cold brew hits.
One of my teachers.
If you ever have an hour to kill, I highly recommend scrolling through the Arctic Dogs Twitter account, just looking at the replies. Because at 5 a.m., the day I was going to get my vaccine, by the way, get vaxxed, kids.
Get vaxxed, kids.
I looked up the Arctic Dogs Twitter account, and guys, I think we found the cure to depression. It seems like their marketing strategy, because apparently there was one, was to make the most boomer-friendly memes possible to entice adults to invite their kids to see the movie, which was so tone deaf, it's amazing. They have memes like stepping barefoot on one of my kids' toys. Absolutely having the best orgasm of his life. Actually, not even that. It's not even a GIF. So what I assumed they were trying to do was make a GIF, but in fact, they made a video of the same clip 7 times repeated. So it's like you can't download it, you can't share it. What the fuck? Now, the posts themselves are bad enough, but what elevates them for me are the replies underneath, which is just people shit posting. I cannot relate to this.
I cannot relate to this because I have no children. What is this joke?
Toy car hit. When you know,
toy car hits.
People just screaming the mantra.
Or when you stub your toe.
That's not the only one that got memed to death. There's one where they're sponsoring the soundtrack and the hit single Nomad by Jeremy Renner. To which people asked,
Nomad by Jeremy Renner?
Of course, getting the response, cold brew. The fish called out they had the worst box office opening. This time the mantra being changed to when that cold brew doesn't hit class. And my favorite one that absolutely killed me is this GIF, and yes, I'm using GIF in quotations, is this GIF of Swiftie dancing with the caption, when you're always the first one on the dance floor. And they caption it again, we know what we're doing this weekend. Ha ha ha. We know what we're doing
We know what we're doing this weekend.
Please, for the love of God, see our movie. I'm going to be fired if I don't. To which someone took that as a question of what everyone was doing that weekend. This guy just replied masturbating.
Oh.
This movie's marketing was a gigantic failure, and I'll say it again, got the absolute worst opening of all time for a movie that had the money to be distributed to over 2,800 theaters. Let me put it in perspective. The budget cost $50 million.
$50 million.
Weekend, they made 3.1.
3.1.
That's not good. Well, that's only opening weekend, which is supposed to be the best sales week, but surely sales will go up right after that, right? Well, good news for them. They made $9.9 million.
9.9 total.
They lost over $40 million. After the viral headline came out that it flopped entirely, my friends and I all agreed to go watch it in theaters, and it was probably one of the most magical experiences I've ever had in my life. Let me set the stage. We were in the very back row in these elevated seats, far enough from like the majority seating, where most parents and their kids were sat, and I can safely say that me and my friends all laughed harder than any child ever did in this movie. Bombed, which only made us
made a poopy.
I shit on this movie, and it's a bad movie. But this movie genuinely gave me one of my most favorite movie-going experiences of my life, and it's a memory I will cherish for the rest of my life because it was just that insane. And it's a memory that I love. So this movie ain't all bad. In the memory aspect, it's really bad everywhere else. So now that you have the context for what makes this movie so magical to me, let me run you through this nightmare.
Review. Meh. Judge Judy was better. Miss Pat Settles It, a new series on BET.
Canva whiteboards are great for planning.
Ooh, Charlie.
Meh, looks better.
Now, the movie starts with just about way too many studio logos. In a small
Studio
town called
logos?
Tigersville, Jeremy Renner plays Swifty the
He's talking
Arctic
about how he feels invisible, which makes sense because he's wearing all white as a white fox. Maybe change your clothes then, dickhead. Anyways, the Swifty hands his future love interest something. No, I'm not apologizing for spoiling that. You didn't see this movie. Children scream bloody murder as the Arctic dogs walk out. The Arctic dogs basically deliver mail and give a sense of hope for the town, but they clearly made these establishing shots as furry bait for these wolves. Now, either they released a different version on Netflix or I just suppressed all of this.
Netflix.
But there's a title sequence with all the actors who definitely did not put this movie
John
on their
Cleese
resume.
was in
Flash forward
that
a
as
little bit.
well?
Swifty gets hired at the delivery shop and is put out with James Franco as an albatross and Alec Baldwin as PB the polar bear instead of with the cool furries. So 3 dog years later,
Alec
Swifty wakes
Baldwin,
up to put his
3
Duke
years
statue in
later.
a cum jar while the radio gives some very not subtle commentary about global warming.
It's hot heat out there. There's no one.
Swifty is fucking nude in this scene. The dialogue sounds like it was stitched together over multiple takes like one of my videos.
I lost my pound. What pound? The pound I
What
gained
pound?
hit the 20-pound minimum to pull the top dog sled.
Now, they have to get down to their work, but they're late, I think. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention that well. So they devise ways to get down the hill, and they, of course, get down to their sled. PB does the funny cold brew hits pose, and I giggle like a child every time. This mouse gives Swifty fuck me eyes before they transition to the best scene in the entire movie. Now, the scene might only be funny because it was in literally the only ad for this movie, but PB and Swifty fucking skate down the mountain in the
Ooh,
most comical
Dance Dance Revolution.
possible. As Swifty finally makes
Running
it to
in the
Max, caribou,
90s.
his boss, she tells him he's extremely adequate and that he won't be promoted. We then get one of the most blatant foreshadows of a villain ever, as the earth ever so gently quakes to open up this one file box, revealing a mugshot of a walrus who totally won't pop up later. He's gonna be back. Those idiots back there didn't believe it, but they're gonna be, right, guys?
Oh. There's nobody there
The
except...
scene then ends with a beaver falling, and the only reason I bring it up is because this is a comedy movie for children, and I was in a theater full of families with children, and the only people who ever laughed during this entire movie was 4 adult man children in the back, and yes, I was one of those adult man children. Duke, Dakota, and Dusty, I think their names are clearly depressed, which is even funnier because I think we were laughing too hard to notice. What's even better is in this scene, which is Swifty presumably getting his dick blown underneath the conveyor belt, because what else am I supposed to interpret from this expression? Swifty tells PB that he doesn't think he can take much more of this, and PB tells him to go to his happy place and make Swifty become the fucking Joker. So Jade struts up to this place, and we learn that she's like an engineer or something because she added way too much shit to PB's coffee maker, and she finds out she was late to the delivery rotation because Swifty and PB dumped some snow on her during their drug-filled snow sledding trip, to which Swifty knows just what to say.
Nobody's perfect.
So anyways, because Jade missed the rotation, Swifty decides to deliver the package on his own. To which Swifty turns up to an iceberg, which turns out to be the lair of Otto Van Walrus, a name that strikes fear and orgasms into anyone who hears it. This movie is obviously trying to use Puffins to capitalize off the Minions hype, which we as a society gotta acknowledge that we allow those yellow creatures from the underground to
My mom says I should eat vegetables.
to infiltrate our children and our children's children and our mothers and Facebook and
gross torque of 56 pounds per foot.
Ah, right. Wow, 56 pounds of feet. Whew, that's a lot of feet.
This line was probably just trying to poke the furry fandom. Swifty tries asking out Jade, but trusty Grinder always interrupts him when he's trying to speak every single time. Poor dude is getting cock-blocked by Grinder. The pacing of the dialogue in this movie just feels so off. Like, the movie waits for a character to say a line, and then someone else will say a line, instead of it feeling natural.
Oh, you said something about replacing Duke. What? This Lemmy, you know, he's...
That's it!
Like in all my videos, I overlap the audio so it feels like a more seamless and fast-paced experience. But if I put the clips right next to each other, it feels a bit more stiff. Anyways, the Swiftie gets suspended from the ABDS for delivering packages when he wasn't supposed to. One of the Arctic dogs says that his dogs are barking, which is yet another feet reference. Why is this movie so privately horny? After we move past that, the Arctic dogs get bitch-slapped by the puffins, and he's morbidly depressed. So naturally, he gets kidnapped by two of the wildest characters ever written, and those two characters are married French conspiracy theorist otters.
French conspiracy
Anyways,
otters?
The entire town becomes depressed because the top dogs quit with this letter that would only fly into town where their entire way of life
Sorry,
revolves around literally
Moose
three
Lady,
people.
we
This gives
quit.
Swiftie the chance to finally become the top dog and deliver the packages. Now I'm making a commentary video, but I don't like to be overly negative about the people I'm talking about. As someone who wants to do stuff like this, and animation is one of the toughest things to get right. You can't half-ass it. However, it's Heidi Klum, and I only know her from Project Runaway, which will tell you everything you need to know about
Project Runaway.
What the hell is this line delivery?
Do you have anything that needed delivery?
Is this for real? You're not pretending?
Is this for real? You're not pretending. She sounds like a goddamn Texas.
Is this for real? You're not pretending.
His packages. We hear an original Jeremy Renner single that they described as a hit, which I wish I just had this level of naiveness that I could apply to myself. This video may have just barely 100 views, but it's
Lilo
totally
and Stitch
viral.
game
This
that
EP
gave me
is
nightmares
totally viral.
and
This EP was totally a hit,
anachronism.
and everyone totally
Our
listened
own
to it. Now, I'm not gonna
dystopia.
say that Jeremy Renner is a bad singer, but as someone who uses autotune and knows how it works, the chorus is very noticeably autotuned, which you can hear the digital artifacts of the notes all staying on just one pitch. I'm not knocking autotune. I mean, this is a pro T-Pain channel and all, but it's
Thomas
somehow very
Paine.
blatant. I mean, it's not as bad as when the new Lion King autotuned the one note.
Live action
Anyways,
Lion
Swiftie is
King.
delivering packages. Otto von Walrus steals the pen, so Swiftie has to break in or he'll lose his job. Very Gurren Lagann of this operation. Now, while he's getting his pen back, he overhears Otto's evil plan, unintentionally getting this one puffin murdered, which is unfortunate. So naturally, he runs back to his place to tell them what's wrong.
When she
However,
says
they
her
have a surprise
boyfriend is
party
coming
for him,
home.
which is cool and all, but it's also very frustrating having everyone talk over him. He gets interrupted at every single second and doesn't even try to stand up for himself. I fucking hate this movie, everyone, and Swiftie. However, something funny in this is probably this very jarring transition.
Okay, back to part.
Having health insurance is important.
Oh, an ad for Medicator chip. I've seen these like that advertised on videos like this.
This has got to be one of the
emptiest
emptiest
party scenes ever made.
So Jade kind of like argue, I guess.
Jade goes back to her lab to
Sulk in solitude.
kidnapped by the puffins again. Now, the next morning, PB comes to Swiftie's house and tells him that he looks awful, despite looking the exact same for the last 40 minutes, which is very rude. Swiftie then proceeds to explain the concept of global warming and the plot of this movie to PB, who doesn't believe Swiftie because he's a, let me check my notes. Lying sack of shit, or because global warming is happening and the ice caps are melting, and the plot needing to progress. Everything is shutting down. This plot is just basically reversed Rango, where there's too much
Reversed
Swiftie then goes to
Rango?
Jade's base and gets evidence that she was kidnapped, and naturally decides to go to the most sane people in the entire movie, the married French conspiracy theorist couple. And yes, I do consider being French to be on the same level as a conspiracy theorist. Fuck you. I'll make it a very terrifying face when opening the door. Also, the secret handshake
Freddy
is getting
Fast-
punched, which
Five
makes
Nights
me
at
wonder if
Freddy's,
this man
the
punches his
secret
wife on
handshake.
regular and then brushes it off as their secret handshake. Get out of this marriage, holy shit. Anyway, Swiftie is a sick band name, by the way. Please credit me when you use it. Watch Otto von Walrus and his puffins drill into the earth, which makes Swiftie utter a line that they were so confident in, they used it in every trailer.
Like the planet made of poop. me.
This movie was robbed at the Oscars. Anyways, after the ice collapses, because why wouldn't it? They get into an awesome chase scene that is totally full of suspense and not subtle Nazi imagery. It's revealed that Magda knew Otto as he had been bullied into becoming a sociopath, as one does. Society. Magda gives out a fuck me eye, so they were totally an item at one point. I don't know, I was barely paying attention when I wrote this part of the script. I'm sorry. That's in the script. I did not say that. Anyways, while I wasn't paying attention, they're apparently now breaking into the lair. Swifty then tells the married couple to hack into the mainframe, and then leads to the most bonkers-ass final act anyone's ever seen since Fateful Findings.
Crowd cheer.